Hello, how is it going, everyone? Welcome in to the first official episode of In the Nick of Time. I am Will Nicholson. First of all, want to talk some podcast stuff before we get into the nitty gritty of talking about the NBA draft, which is what we're talking about a little bit tonight. I've been trying to find the absolute right time to do this podcast, and I just can't do it. It never worked out. The timing never worked out in the way that I wanted it to, which is, good and bad. I wanted it to be able to be on TikTok and, multi-stream and all that fun stuff. But, TikTok was giving me a hard time. So the reality was that just could not happen, unfortunately. Also, no face cam. I'm not sure if this is something I want to do. Face cam or webcam heavy. Because really, I just kind of want to sit here and talk about sports. And it worked out for this week because I'm pretty sunburned right now. So, we're not going to do any type of face cam for tonight. But yeah, I'm glad we're finally getting out and doing an episode. It was about time. It had to happen. I've been pushing it away for a while, just waiting for the absolute right time. And that just is not a reality. So I guess, life lesson from all of this is the timing is never going to be right with everything. I wanted to, do this whole big kaboom for the first episode, but really, it's about talking sports. So at the end of the day, that is what I am going to do. Just sit here and yap about some good sports. It's in the nick of time. Yes, it is. Gino Conti, welcome in. All right, let's kick this thing off. NBA draft happened on this past, what was it, Wednesday? Wednesday and Thursday was the second round. Wednesday was the first round. So I want to go through a couple of these picks and just talk about it a little bit and maybe talk a little more in depth about some of these players. If you miss them, you don't know who they are. I've done a good amount of research into this class, and I'm pretty fired up. There's a lot of guys that I really like, and a couple of guys who I'm not so bought into. So let's jump into it. We're gonna waste no time. The first overall pick was Cooper Flagg, 6'8" forward out of Duke, 221 pounds. Played at Duke. There we go. I almost said UConn. Jeez. Cooper Flagg, if you didn't know who he was, you obviously know now, going number 1 overall in the draft. A couple number 1 guys from Duke, Zion Williamson, Kyrie Irving. Duke always produces some phenomenal NBA talent. And I don't think it's going to be any different with Flagg at the helm. Now, there's a whole different conversation if you want to talk about should the Mavs even have this pick. Absolutely not. It feels rigged. I don't think anyone is arguing with that at this point. But I'm super hyped on Flagg. I think he's going to be a really good player. He's out of Maine. Brian Scalabrine tells a lot of really good stories about Flagg, about how he was playing against the UMaine kids at 13, and he was getting buckets. He was playing really well. So I'm super fired up for Flagg. Obviously, he was talked about, a bunch. People pretty much knew beginning of the college basketball season he was going to go number 1 overall. And even Duke head coach John Shire had this to say about him, saying he's a savant with the game. He just really has an amazing understanding for what's required to win and how to elevate everyone else around him. And man, does that stick out with Flagg. I mean, he took that Duke team to the very top. Now, don't get me wrong, they had a lot of good players. They had, with Cooper Flagg, 3 top 10 picks, so they obviously had talent. But yeah, big Flagg guy. Gino says the draft is rigged. 100%. The lottery 100% is rigged at this point. It's a whole thing. That's a conversation I do want to have, not today, a little bit later, because it's just happened so damn much that it's not a coincidence anymore that is happening. But no, Flagg, super fired up on him. I think he's going to be really good. NBA talent. I'm excited to see what is next for him. Dallas should have a pretty good squad. They got to get healthy though. Number 2 overall pick, Dylan Harper, went to the San Antonio Spurs. He is a guard from Rutgers, 6'5". Those big guards are really huge in the NBA now. It seems like every team out there has a big guard with them. It feels like it started with Lonzo Ball, which is funny enough. But no, big guards are massive. I mean, you look at the guys who were in the draft, or not in the draft, excuse me, in the NBA championship this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, tall dude. Tyrese Halliburton, another big guard. It's the way of the new NBA. And Dylan Harper, I'm not super high on. Shout out to the Sports Wire boys with Andrew Youngworth and Tyler Pinero. I went on there and we talked a little bit about it when it comes to Dylan Harper. And to me, he just feels like a good scorer on a bad team. Like, I know it's Rutgers, right? But still, to not even make the tournament is a little crazy. I know he's got an NBA dad. I get all of that. He's a hyper scoring guard, gets a lot of points. Him and Ace still just didn't make the tournament. It blows my mind every single time I think about it. It's like, how did Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper on the same team in Rutgers not make the tournament? I don't know. As long as they're able to facilitate any extra height is gravy, 100%. But like, you see these guys now who they have guard skills, but maybe they're 6'5", 6'6", and back in the day you would have just thrown them at the 3. And nowadays, the NBA evolving, they're not scared to have those big guys play the 1. But I'm with you. And back to Dylan Harper. And the comparison that I'm looking at in my face right now is Cade Cunningham. It's the weight and the height and the ability to score. I don't think Dylan Harper really has an edge to him. And I might be wrong about this. I can 100% admit when I'm wrong. I've whiffed on picks before, the Jordan Love one most notably, but I don't know if he's going to work in the NBA, specifically in the San Antonio Spurs system. I don't want to say he's been coasting off of being Ron Harper's son, because obviously super talented kid, and I'm sure that he's great person, has a good personality. From what I saw on Rutgers, I just didn't see enough to make me believe that he is going to be a star in the league. Maybe he'll be a serviceable point guard. I don't know. Obviously, playing with Wemby, he's going to have a lot of advantages there playing the 1. I'm going to have to see it. For right now, to me, he's just a good scorer on a bad team. Not super fired up on him. But again, 100% will accept if I'm wrong and he lights it up and wins like Rookie of the Year or something. Feels like the NBA is just trying to create the next Magic Johnson. Kind of, yeah. Everyone's looking for those big guards. But, Gino, this is really the modern NBA where you have big, lengthy guys who can run the 3 and D. That's what the NBA. I mean, look at the whole Thunder roster, right? Like the entire Oklahoma City Thunder, they were just all long athletes who could shoot the ball and play defense. It's the new wave. If he's able to be a starter and make plays, that's what's important, because Wemby is going to be the star. 100% true. My worry with that is, does he buy into that role? Because you got to think, Dylan Harper has been the number 1 scorer every single place he's gone, right? Like, in high school, he was a top recruit. Gino, I don't know how familiar you are with the RWE guys in Rod Wave Elite, but he played for RWE, which is like this huge AAU team run by Cam Wilder, which, by the way, I'm a fan. I love watching the RWE stuff. I think they're super entertaining, and it's good content. But he feels very social media kind of driven. And again, I don't know a ton about Dylan Harper as the person. All I'm seeing is a scorer who, to me, just didn't really light it up at Rutgers. Like, yeah, he scored a lot of points, but Rutgers didn't win. Like, they lost a lot. So that is my worry with Dylan Harper. But I digress. Maybe he can end up being good. A guy that I'm super fired up for, and man, if this guy didn't have you tearing up on draft day or you don't know this kid's story, get ready. Philadelphia 76ers, number 3 overall. They select VJ Edgecombe, a guard from Baylor from the Bahamas. 6'4", 193. Man, this guy on draft night, he brought a tear to my eye, man. If you didn't see it, go look up the story of VJ Edgecombe. I mean, kid literally came from nothing, and he's sitting there, and his mom is just in tears once he gets drafted. And you know, it's all these moms. It's an emotional moment. They cry, right? But she could not even like form a sentence. And the reporter asked her for a quote, and she was just overwhelmed with joy. And that stuff really gets me going in my heart. Number one, because that's a phenomenal story, but number two, VJ's a great player. He is a really, really good player. He did good at Baylor. He was a freshman. And I mean, you talk about a guy where you watch him, he runs everywhere, every possession. He reminds me a lot of Victor Oladipo, which I'm super fired up on. I was a big Oladipo guy. I also was a big Dwayne Wade fan back in the day, and he looks a little bit like Dwayne Wade too. And just like a hyper athletic guard that, you know, doesn't only score, he can score the ball when he's needed. He's got bounce, he can get to the rim, he can shoot the ball. I think he definitely needs to improve a little bit on that jump shot in Baylor, but I mean, he guards, he takes it to the rim, and he's not afraid to poster people, he's not afraid to get his teammates involved. One word to describe VJ Edgecombe, I would say hungry. This kid is so hungry. I feel like the way, and this has been a talking point in the basketball community a lot, it's very rare nowadays that you see an NBA player who kind of came from nothing, quote unquote, or kind of had a tough upbringing. Because a lot of the AAU stuff and a lot of the ways these people are found are, you know, you have to kind of invest and do the whole AAU circuit, at least in the States, right? In the United States, that's a big part of it. And there still are stories like that. But, you know, VJ's story, so cool. So cool. Very excited for him. Looking at the numbers right now, 15 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and 2.1 steals in 32.7 minutes per game in his only season at Baylor. He just screams star to me. Compared to a guy like Dylan Harper, and I don't know, you know, it's a me thing. It's that I like Edgecombe more than Harper. I think they could both be phenomenal guards, but I'm rooting for him. Not that I'm not rooting for Dylan Harper, but I just love this guy, man. I'm just fired up. Those type of guards like that, those quick, athletic guards who can also shoot the 3 ball, take it to the rim. Very excited. He's more of a 2 guard to me. And I don't know how that's going to look in Philly with Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey. That's going to be an interesting rotation. Sorry, I'm reading the Geno chat right now. I'm not familiar, but if he has an understanding of how a team works and not just him, and that's great. Yeah, no, 100%. That's about Ron Harper. Very easy to get out of the trenches now. Yeah, kind of. It feels like in the NBA scene, which is a good thing, right? I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think players get taken care of now, which I like. But yeah, VJ Edgecombe, super fired up on the kid. I'm gonna read this quote real quick. This is Baylor's head coach Scott Dre saying, "I've heard some NBA people compare him to Dwayne Wade, Russell Westbrook. As far as speed, explosiveness, that athleticism and quick twitch that he has to get off the floor, you can't teach." 100%. And that's what it screams to this kid. He set a Baylor freshman record, 68 steals. So he guards on both ends. And I love the story. There's a lot to love with him. And I'm cheering him on 100%. So that's going to do it for VJ Edgecombe. Definitely became a fan this weekend, 100%. I knew that he was like one of the top guards in this class, but really doing a deep dive into him, hey, fired up. Another guy that I have a couple of questions about, but I really like what I see on the floor. As we go to number 4 overall, Con Knipple. He's a guard out of Duke, guard/forward. He's a big guy. He can kind of play both. 6'7", 217 pounds. He's more of a 3 as far as forwards go, and then probably more of a 2 guard. Con Knipple, straight up, is a bucket and a hustler. It's the big thing with Con. He's easily the best shooter in the draft. I mean, I'm looking at a shooting split right now. 48, 41, and 91. I believe that's 48 from the field, 41 from 3, 91 from the free throw line. 14.4 points, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, or 2.7 assists, excuse me, and 1 steal. The big thing with Knipple is last year in all of D1 in Duke, where they played a lot of good teams. You know, those Blue Bloods, they don't fool around. They play good competition. He had the best plus minus in Division I college basketball last year. I mean, he's another guy where he just he does whatever he wants for his team to win. 19 years old, another freshman coming in. Very excited to see where he is going to look in the league. Couple of comparisons I'm looking at right now is Grady Dick, Doug McDermott, Corey Kispert, Sam Hauser. And I can see that, but I feel like Knipple's a little bit bigger than those guys. He kind of gives me... I like the Grady Dick one. I think I like the Grady Dick one the most. I can see him playing a role like Sam Hauser as well, where he maybe starts though, because I gotta think, in Charlotte, it feels like he'll start. I think he's a great guy to have alongside LaMelo Ball. I would have liked Ace here, but obviously that's a tough sell because obviously the drama going on with Ace. We got Conti real quick. There should be a rule implemented where if you go to college, you have to stay there for 2 years, but you can go straight from high school. I don't know about that. I do like the idea of having these kids go from high school to the league because I think some people are ready. Like, I think Cooper Flagg was ready. You could argue Dylan Harper was probably ready. Maybe Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, another guy. Who knows? I don't know about making him stay 2 years in college, though. Could you imagine if Cooper Flagg had another year at college? Like, that is just, at that point, you're just wasting money, right? Like, if he can go and make money in the league and he's wasting time at Duke, I don't know. But Con Knipple, very fired up for him. Just watching a little bit of the March Madness games. I mean, he did whatever his team did to win, and I've been pulling up these coaches' quotes. I'm going to keep them. Once again, John Shire, Duke head coach. It's fun coaching a guy where it's not about scoring. He's pissed if he didn't get a rebound, if he missed somebody on a pass. He understands what other people consider small things to the game. He understands the value of all of those plays. That sounds NBA to me. And he comes from a basketball family as well. All of his brothers, big basketball guys. He's got 4 brothers, which I can kind of relate to. I got 3 brothers, but a little crazy. Con, I think, is going to be good. I don't have a ton to say about Con necessarily. He's the nephew of a guy who played in the NBA in '96. Hey, Chrissy. We got Chrissy in here, too. Big Con Knipple guy, though. I think he's going to be a solid player. He gives me a little, I thought about this now, maybe a little Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, that type of vibe. I feel like I'm naming every white shooter in the NBA at this point. No, I like Con. I think he's going to be good in the league. Especially in Charlotte. He's got a lot of room to go there. All right. This is the big one. The second headline here. Ace Bailey, as you're going to see, go through the ticker in just a moment. Ace Bailey gets drafted number 5 overall to the Utah Jazz. He is a 6'8" forward out of Rutgers. Hyper athletic, scores the ball like crazy. Easily the best contested shot maker in the draft. He scored, let's see if we can find the numbers pulled up here. 17.7, 7.2 rebounds, or 17.7 points, excuse me. 7.2 rebounds, an assist, a block, a steal, 33.4 minutes. And a teammate of Dylan Harper. Now, my problem with Ace Bailey isn't with what I saw on the floor. I actually was super fired up with what I saw when he was actually playing. I mean, kid can hoop, straight up kid can hoop, but it's all the extra stuff with him declining workouts with the 76ers and straight up telling teams that he didn't want to go there. And still to this day, there's a report that came out on Ace Bailey, and I'm gonna go find the article on Twitter real quick so I can get my sources right. But it essentially was that he hasn't even talked to Utah, which is blowing my mind. The first thing that came up was Centel, which is funny. But it straight up just seems like he doesn't want to be there. Here we go. Okay. This is from Windhorst, reposted by Centrell, not Centel. I made sure to get that right. Ace Bailey has had minimal contact with the Jazz since being drafted and has yet to arrive in Utah. Mind you, he was drafted Wednesday, the 25th. This article came out today, the 27th at 11. And that's a reliable source, man. That's Brian Windhorst. The guy's an NBA insider. Saying that this kid doesn't want to be in Utah. I mean, what are we doing? And this is the big thing I really wanted to get into with the NBA. I hate this. I don't like it. I don't like telling other teams that you're not gonna get drafted by them. I think it's bad for the game. It's bad for the league. I don't like it, and it rubs me the wrong way. I didn't like when Shedeur Sanders did it either. Specifically his dad, so I'll put maybe a little bit less on that. This, at least from my perspective, has felt like it's fully Ace. And Ace being like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to play for Philly. And I think he wanted to go to DC, if I'm not wrong. I think he wanted to slide to 6 and go to DC. I'm not sure if he's from there. He's from the US. But yeah, I hate this. I think it's terrible. I think it sets a bad standard. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Well, that's too bad, because if he wants to earn a second contract, then he's gonna have to give it his all. No, exactly. That it's so dumb. The NBA is a players' league, but general managers need to remind the players who is the boss sometimes. I agree to an extent. I don't even hate the NBA being a quote-unquote players' league. I think there's a lot of good aspects to that. But this is 100% one of the downsides to that. And I don't even know if it's like a player problem necessarily. It feels to me like it's more of an Ace thing than, or not even Ace, but like a kid thing, you know, where he wants to control where he goes. And that I don't like. Once you get in the league, and if you earn your money and you earn your worth in the NBA, and you're like, okay, I don't want to be here for X, Y, and Z reason. If it's a good reason, that I can understand. LeBron going to Miami, slam dunk for me. Especially when you look at it now. Like Cleveland, I was there for 7 years. The best player they gave me was Mo Williams. The best player that I could get was Mo Williams. That is when I think it's fine. The relationship with Jimmy falling apart with Miami, I can understand that. You see these situations where I think it's okay for a player to be like, hey, I'm ready to get out. That is fine. But not this. This is childish, and it sets a bad precedent for the league. And no one was a fan. Nobody was a fan. No one likes this. No one wants to see this. No one wants to see a guy who's going to make a ton of money, the 5th overall pick in the NBA. Like, that is not life-changing money. That's like generational changing money. I'm like at a loss for words about how stupid I think this is. Ace is going to have to play. Gonna have to. And I'll see if we can find more on this. But man, was this tough. Man, was... Ugh. You hate to see that. Truthfully, you don't like to see stuff like that. And again, this is Central. There are odds for Ace Bailey's next team. Already. That's what we're talking about. The odds that he plays for a new team. He's been on the Jazz for 2 days. Like 48 hours. He's been a member of the Utah Jazz. I wish I could pull up this picture right now for my audio listeners. I wish I could show you his face. Go look it up for yourself. Ace Bailey draft day. Go look it up. He does not look happy to be there. Chrissy, I'm gonna get there in just a second. By the way, I see you. I just wanted to really hone this Ace Bailey stuff. Final quote we're gonna look at from the Windhorst report and article. Quote: "The Jazz were very excited to welcome him to Utah over the weekend, and that hasn't happened yet. So he did not go there. Their other first-round pick, Walter Clayton Jr., flew to Utah on Thursday and is getting ready to go." Which is a day after the draft. Totally get it. Walter Clayton, by the way, very high on him. We'll get to that. Ace Bailey did not, and there's been minimum contact with him and the team. There's not a crisis yet. What the Jazz are saying is he's not expected in Utah until the weekend, and really what he needs to do is be there by Monday. That's when their training camp for the Summer League starts. And the quote off here. And if he's there, no problem. Hope his Jazz career gets off to a good start. If he's not, let's see what happens from there. So look forward to Monday. Because Ace Bailey's got to be in Utah soon. Imagine that. He wanted to go to DC. He wants to go to DC, and instead, he's in Utah. Danny Ainge, boy, do you know how to find him. Boy, do you know how. I don't know. I kind of like stuff like this, honestly. It's very Danny Ainge to be like, hey, arguably the second best overall player in the draft. Oh, you don't want to be here? Okay. Drafts him. I don't know. I hate the Ace Bailey stuff. We'll move on because we're only on pick 5 right now, and I kind of want to cover a good amount of the lottery and some sleepers. But to answer Chrissy, do you feel like the NBA will be more competitive this year? I think so. I think that's actually been a strong point of the league, has been competition. We pretty much haven't had a repeat, or I don't think we have had a repeat champion since the 17 and 18 Warriors. Other than that, 19, 20, 21, all the way to 25, we've had a different champion every single year. So I think the NBA is going to stick competitive. The only problem they have with competition, I think right now, is getting some of these guys to play in games. And those players aren't winning anyway, so it's not a big deal to me. But yeah, I think the NBA is competitive. And I'm excited for it to stay that way. Not sure who he thinks he is when he hasn't scored a point yet. Exactly. No, that's exactly my point. The Ace Bailey stuff is ridiculous. And I still do not know what's going to happen, which is crazy to me. Like, does he just say, I'm not playing in Utah? Because let's be real. That's what it feels like he wants. That's what it feels like he wants to say is, I don't want to be in Utah, but he hasn't yet. And it's kind of funny. It's making me giggle a little. It's just like to see this guy who's so, even on draft night, God, it was funny. He so clearly does not want to be in Utah. Please go look at the picture. Please go look at Ace Bailey draft day picture. Right when he gets drafted, he does not want to be there. But hey, it's the league. He's going to have to figure it out. Which, because I like on the court, I think he's great. High motor athlete, defends well, athletic, shoots the ball, great shot maker, best contested shot maker in the draft. But just this extra garbage. So yeah, Ace Bailey, for right now, I'm out. He's going to have to figure it out. And man, he's going to have to turn things around in Utah. Because that's going to be bad. Or he gets traded. The Lakers are the favorite right now to trade for him. Funny enough. All right, let's get this thing rolling a little bit more. 6th overall pick, Washington Wizards. Trey Johnson was the selection. Guard out of Texas. Another big guard. 6'5" from the U.S. Played at Texas. I don't know if I said that already. Trey Johnson, another high volume scoring guard. Look at the numbers. What do we have here? He shot 6.8 3-point tries a game. So that's crazy. That's guys shooting the ball a lot. Again, these big guards, man. The analysis says Johnson is a pure 3-level scorer. At 6'6", Johnson has the size to get a shot up over smaller defenders whenever he wants. The quickness to blow by anyone sitting on his jumper, and the athleticism to finish over help with authority. Yeah, I mean, that nails it. 100%. Trey Johnson, gonna be good. Gonna be good. Cam Thomas, I see that. I see a bigger Cam Thomas. More athletic Cam Thomas, sitting at like 6'5", 6'6", but has that ability to just shoot the lights out. A spark plug guard, if you will, which I see Jordan Clarkson as a comparison to, so that checks out for me. Former Texas coach Rodney Terry says, I got the chance to coach Kevin Durant for 1 year at Texas, and Johnson and Kevin have a lot of things that kind of come from the same cloth. In terms of incredible work ethic. That's what we're talking about with the work ethic. Yeah. Big Trey Johnson guy. And I love how this is the 180 from Ace Bailey, where this kid wants to work and he wants to play. And it's so obvious that he does from all of the interviews and everything that he's done. Like, he wants to play, he wants to hoop, he doesn't care where. And man, the kid score. Man, he score. 19.9 points per game in college at Texas. Kid's a bucket. And he led the SEC in minutes per game. Huge. His favorite players are Katie and Devin Booker. Yeah. Cool story right here, too, as I'm reading through all this stuff. Trey wears jersey number 20 to pay tribute to his father, who wore that number during his player career. Another cool thing that we love. LOL, when well, he's gonna be a bitch and win as a third wheel. I hope we're talking about Ace. Oh no, this is about Trey. Okay. No, I like Trey. KD has tarnished his legacy, and I know. Shout out to Gino on Ginormous. Killed it with the KD talk. Go look at that at Spotify or even on the Conti and Nick YouTube channel. Nailed it with the KD talk. He's fully tarnished his legacy at this point. Not a whole lot more on Trey Johnson. I'm excited. Washington needs a spark. And I hope he could be that. Maybe bring some John Wall level of excitement back to that org. We'll see. We will see. Another RWE kid, funny enough, goes at number 7. Jeremiah Fears. I think this is like the first kind of big shock of the draft. Was Jeremiah Fears going here? He's a guard, 6'3" from Oklahoma. And another guy who loves to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. He was a freshman as well, another one and done guy, which is a theme. 17 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals in 30 minutes while at Oklahoma. Another guy who gets to the line at will, by the way. 6.1 free throw trips per game. And he was SEC all-freshman team. All that good stuff. Yeah, another guy who can just score the rock, get downhill. Seems like he can shoot the... no, see, that's... I'm looking at the numbers now. That's the big thing with him is three-pointers. 28% he shot on three-pointers. How many did he shoot a game? I'm going to have to... 3.9 three-point try of the game. Yeah, that's tough. Gonna need to get that number up. But obviously, I think that the Pelicans can work with a kid like that and get him shooting. I'm looking at the quotes here. Fire this out. This is his coach, Pete Gaffney, from Arizona Compass Prep, told the Associated Press, Jeremiah was just born special. He was born to have an NBA jersey. He was born to be one of those guys that people talk about, and he does all the right stuff, and he's not going to stop building until he's an all-star in the league. High praise. Very, very high praise. He's got some terrible comparisons, though. Josh Hart's a good one, but then we have Jaden Ivey and Markelle Fultz, which I think that's size because he is built a lot like those guys, but he's athletic. So that checks out, but those are some tough comparisons. Bad comparisons on draft night. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like Trey Johnson got like Kevin Durant. They gave this guy Markelle Fultz. That's tough. Yeah, I don't know about Jeremiah. Obviously, another kid who played on RWE, very, very popular amongst the kids. We'll see. We'll see with him. He's going into a better situation in New Orleans than I would say like Jeremiah is going to, or that Trey, is going to in Washington. But we will see. I don't know a lot about the next couple of guys, and I don't think a lot of other people do either, which is funny. So at number 8, Brooklyn takes Igor Demin. Igor Demin. He's from Russia. 6'8", guard/forward from BYU. Don't know a whole lot about him. Comparisons are Josh Giddey and Anthony Black. Like I'm looking at the whole NBA draft scouting thing right now, and they don't got a lot to say about him compared to some of these other guys. 10.5 points, 27% from 3, 5.5 assists, 3.9 rebounds, 1.2 steals, 27 minutes. This was the start of a bad night. If you're a Brooklyn fan, they had 5 first-round picks or something ridiculous, and they used all of them. 4? Is it 4? 4 first-round picks, and and Brooklyn fans don't like any of them. 5, sorry, they traded up to number 22. So they do have 5 first-round picks. Let me go through here. Let me just make sure. 22, yeah, traded to Brooklyn. I gotta count these. I gotta make sure now. 1, 2. Okay, we got 2. The trade, 3, 4, 5. 5 first-round picks. Kept them all. My God. A lot of European guys, too. That's a bad look for Brooklyn. Man. especially when you could have traded up and get a guy maybe like Ace Bailey who feels like he would want to go there. The NBA should treat their draft like a bigger deal, and more people would pay attention and care. I think that might just be a this draft thing, and also a Nets thing. Not a lot of people, I think, thought this kid was gonna go as high as he did. I mean, the quote comes from his BYU teammate. I've never played with a point guard that can see and pass it in short windows that he can. Man. He's an international guy, and I love my international guys. So he became the first Russian to join Real Madrid's youth team at age 15. His dad's name is Vladimir. That's like this is stuff the analysis page is talking about. They say for a big man, he's got some of the best passing skills in the draft. If they go 0-5 in first rounders, then that's a generational miss. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm hesitant to even give him a chance. These were some bad picks. Igor, man, respect, but you got a tough road ahead. Another guy, by the way, as we jump into number 9, who didn't want to go to Toronto. The Toronto Raptors, number 9 overall, they take Collie Murray Boyles, a forward from South Carolina, 6'7", 240. A little bit of those bigger forwards probably can end up playing some small ball 5. Played at South Carolina, 15 points per game, 9 rebounds as a senior. So that's interesting. He is a senior. How old is he? Okay, those were his high school stats. Excuse me. I was like, wow. He is like a senior goes that high. Sorry, 10.4 points, 5.7 rebounds. They're tricking me. They got me. I'm trying to see some Grant Williams. That seems like a good comparison. How well did he shoot? What were his splits? He played 28 games. That's something as a freshman. Interesting prospect who's yet to embrace what his best fit might be in the NBA level. That feels about right. This is another guy where people were like, ugh. That's insane. Okay, he was born in 2005. He is young. How old? Okay, they're not giving me a number. I don't know, Toronto, about that. That's a tough pick to justify. We'll have to see. But he was another guy on draft day where it looked like he did not want to be there. Like he was not hyped to be going to Toronto. We gotta start moving through this a little bit quicker. We're gonna fire through. Kaman Malawach goes number 10 to Houston, and then is then traded to Phoenix. He's a 7'1" center out of Duke. Home country is South Sudan, 253 pounds. I mean, this is a true center, a true rim roller. I was a fan of him at Duke. He actually seems like a really funny guy. I was watching a little bit of him and Cooper Flag kind of joking around, and he just seems like a fun person to be around. A true center, and this is what Gino's gonna like. John Shire, once again, quoting, talking about come on, says, he's not afraid of contact, really. He should be in high school still. True, another guy who's as young as Flag. Back to the quote. To play with that level of physicality and readiness is unique, and for Kaman to just make the adjustment to college so quickly is incredibly impressive. His best years are in front of him. I'm another Duke guy that I'm a big fan of, Malawach. The third of the Duke guys to go in the top 10. Heading over to Phoenix, and man, do they need help there. God, do they need help. Donovan Clingan, a good comparison, but I feel like he's more athletic than Clingan. I like Whiteside. I like the Mobamba as far as like the frame goes. I'm a fan. I think he's gonna be good, especially playing with Book down there. The ability to rim roll. He's not a shooter. I don't know if that's something he will ever be, but his ability as a rim roller, huge. And all you have to do is be able to knock down like a top of the key three, which I think he can work on. I'm excited. 8.6 points, 6.6 rebounds, 21 minutes. But man, low volume, but a bucket nonetheless for Kaman Malwa. Congrats to Houston, I think, or to Phoenix, excuse me. Houston drafted, traded to Phoenix. They got a good one. People trolling the Suns for getting 2 centers, but why not take 2 bites at the apple? Don't rush a rookie into the starting role. Did they end up taking 2 centers? Who else did Phoenix take? Trying to look through here. Did Phoenix take 2 centers? I don't know. I'm only seeing one. Maybe it was in the second round. Yeah, I love Kaman. I think he's gonna be good. We're gonna skip through a couple of these because a lot of them, to me, feel a little bit like not nothing burgers, but we'll run through them real quick. Number 11, Portland Trailblazers draft Cedric Coward and then trade him to Memphis. He is a guard / forward from Washington State, 6'5". From what I'm seeing, another kid who can score the ball very, very easily, which is the theme in this draft. A lot of the high volume scorer guys went pretty high. Injury prone, by the way, so that was his kind of dip with that. Derek White, as comparison, kind of cool. Good luck to Cedric. The Bulls at number 12 take Noah Asungi. Let's figure out how to pronounce that. That's bad. My bad. From Germany. Let's get the numbers here. Here we go. Played at Germany. From France. 6'9", 194. They traded for Mark Williams. You're right. There we go. Thank you for jogging my memory with that. Unbelievable. No. Hello, John, bro. I don't need the international guys I can't even like speak on. Derek Queen at 13 gets drafted by Atlanta, traded to New Orleans. /center, 6'9", 248. Another one of those big forwards heads there. Carter Bryant, a forward, goes to San Antonio out of Arizona. Another 6'7" guy. This is the one that I'm interested in because he's another, I think, big piece that the Spurs are going to be adding, as well as Dylan Harper. I mean, you're talking about a guy and he's old. That's the knock on him. He is old. Let me make sure, actually. Let's see. Okay, no, this high school stuff is getting me. As a one and done freshman, he didn't play a lot. There we go. That's the knock. What are you saying? No, this is Taco Overload. What's up, John, bro? Love having you, man. Brian saw 19.3 minutes a game. He averaged 6.5. So he didn't play a lot, but he's 6'7", bouncy, athletic, 3-and-D. And I think he's exactly what the Spurs needed. They needed a 3-and-D guy. They needed a wing, a really good wing. Because now you got the guard with Dylan Harper that they're banking on. A couple comparisons: Josh Smith, Gerald Wallace, OG Anunoby. That's a kind of slam dunk. I like the OG one. It seems like he's big enough to play like OG, excuse me. Arizona head coach Tommy Lloyd said the one thing about Carter is he checks 2 boxes that are really hard to check. He's an elite talent and has elite character. Spurs got themselves a good one, another great wing that they're going to be adding. I'd argue being older is more valuable as a rookie. There's less traits to develop, but also you age quick in the NBA. which is hard. You like having the guys who are young enough to develop. I get where you're coming from though. Swig of water. All right. 15. Oklahoma City. They go and take Thomas Sorber. I know I've mentioned the RWE guys like a good amount, but this is our third RWE kid to go in the first round, playing for those social media teams. He went to the Oklahoma City Thunder, a forward/center. I believe this was the Clippers pick from the Paul George trade. So that's huge. Out of Georgetown, 6'9". Probably gonna play a little more power forward because he can stretch the floor and shoot the three. As it says, he was willing to shoot open 3-pointers in college, but results weren't there despite mechanics. He's got a good looking shot. It's just about getting him to go in the next level. He'll be good. I got faith. I'm really high on this kid. I think he was probably the second best center in the draft. He really measured up to 6'10". Comparisons are Jabari Smith, Drew Timmy. That's a bad one. No, I like Sorber. That's gonna do it for the lottery here. Couple other guys. I think Walter Clayton Jr. was a good pick from Washington, then traded to Utah. Utah gets themselves another guy. Scroll through a little bit more. We'll talk about the Celtics a little bit. Hugo Gonzalez runs a lot. He didn't play a lot, but he's been a pro since he was like 15, I think they said. So hyped from him, from Spain, played in Real Madrid. Another guy who just like a lot of these guys really, really active on the floor, which like, no duh, but I feel like we had way less of like, oh, this guy's just a really good shooter and he got drafted. Like Reed Shepherd last year, they're like, oh, Reed can shoot the ball. And that's all he'll probably be able to do at the next level. But a lot of these guys are like, they're everywhere. Like they run, they play defense. This was a good class, I think. I'm excited for it. I'm trying to find a comparison. Playmaking like Austin Reeves or Ty Jerome. I like that. RotoWire.com gave us that one. Yeah, fired up by the Celtics pick. Man, we closed in on midnight. This was a successful little episode that we ran here. We're closing in on an hour. So we are going to, I think, wrap this up in a sec. Trying to see if there's any more like real notable guys. The Clippers go and get a forward from Penn State. From Switzerland. 6'11". Seems like he could be something. And then round 2 to me was a whole lot of nothing, truthfully. Which it always is, right? I don't even think did the Lakers draft in the first round? No. Cool. To kind of wrap everything up here, Ace Bailey, I watching you like a hawk, man. I need to see something else than you sitting out of games and doing garbage like that. That is going to do it for this episode of In the Nick of Time. I appreciate everyone for coming and hanging out. Again, we're going to start doing these way more frequently. I kind of like the nighttime vibe too. So maybe we keep up with that. Maybe not. Make sure you go and subscribe to all my Spotify guys. Thanks for hanging out. You can come and watch the show live on YouTube. It's Conti and Nick on YouTube. Until next time, we'll see ya. Play you up with some jazz. Make sure to follow. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.